Hi and welcome, Kevin Hillier and Steve Thom, as we look back on what's been a massive week of finals in the WRFL. Let's get to Division 3 first up. And we've got a contender out of the weekend to play Vale in the grand final.
Yeah, the Brookers had a good win against Sanctuary Lakes. They had a fantastic second quarter, I think, Braybrook. They kicked seven goals and I think 6 in the third and another 7 at the end, Kev. So really they flexed their muscles going forward. And, the players, once again, that stood out, the Sharenkos, side-bottom played, which is good. They've got the two big tall timbers playing. Too late now. If you're going to be even 70% fit, you've got your hand up now, boys, and you're going to be playing in the grand final in 6 days' time.
Terrific to see someone like Stevie Pearce, best on ground and 7-goal performance from him, back to his best.
Yeah, it was. Look, he's one of the guys that will hold the key to him, the Braybrook side. He needs to kick goals, and they need to have that spread of goal kickers too. And Levi Wallace is another one. Even Foxy down that back line. They've got jobs all over the ground to do. Got to say with Sanctuary Lakes, they'd be a bit disappointed. They wanted to have a little bit of silverware in their crystal cabinet down there in 2014. They haven't got it, but what a great stepping stone for them for 2015 and beyond. And we know that Sanctuary Lakes, they're young, they're enthusiastic, they're going to be a powerhouse in this competition in a few years down the track.
Yep. And later in the week we'll preview that Vale Braybrook grand final. Now Division 2, Parkside are in, and joining them is West Footscray. Wintervale Falcons, a bit disappointing out in straight sets.
Yeah, they would be. The Falcons have had a terrible final series. It seems like when Boland went down 6 or 7 weeks ago, 5 or 6 weeks ago, they just seem to fall into a hole from there. And they're good players. Chrissy Graham was held over the last 5 or 6 weeks, and especially the couple of finals games. Shea really didn't fire a shot at all. It's disappointing. Their good players didn't stand up. Devon Ellis, I think, would have liked to get a lot more out of himself. Luke Denley missed the final. So nothing worked for them over the last, especially in the finals, the last couple of weeks. But saying that, West Footscray, Kev, what we're looking for, we'll preview it later on in the week, no doubt. The Parkside West Footscray game, the Roosters are flying. They've already booked 2 buses. I've heard talking to a few yesterday, booked 2 buses, one for the players, one for the supporters. They head down there on Sunday afternoon down at Avalon Airport Oval. And tell you what, they have got adrenaline running. Uzo will be playing Adam Uzo because of, obviously, with the Hawthorn playing on the Friday night. But they had a good spread of players. And a good thing about the win West Footscray had in the weekend, Kev, they had some players. Newport stood up 4 goals and probably one of the best on grounds. Took a bit of pressure off their key players, the ones we normally mention in Trousdale and Speakman type of players. Buckton put in another good game. So these are the ones, Big Kennedy. They're going to be hard to stop next week. Make no mistake when they play in the grand final.
Going to be a beauty, that one, Parkside and West Footscray. Now, Division 1, we saw Deer Park flex their muscles, and they've got really big muscles.
They have, yeah, they're bloody huge. I tell you, I feel the boys, they come to play football. They have over the last 4 or 5 weeks, Deer Park. They know, look, during the home and away, I think we all knew Deer Park were going to be playing in a final series. We knew Deer Park would have had the double chance. We knew they probably were going to finish on top of the ladder. I'm not saying they went through the routine of home and away, but it wasn't until about round 17 they thought, okay, we need some good tough match practice. We need to get another step ahead, and they did. They had big wins in round 17 and 18. The first final on Saturday, they just showed the quality of the Yagueras, Thorntons, McCargs, Purton Smith. We'll just keep going right through the list. Every one of those players last Saturday stood up and done just more than their job. They ran, they were physical, they overhead, they took some good pack marks, they had the players that ran in and under type of players, their outside players. At Cooper, it started on a wing, went into the ruck at different stages. I thought they were sensational, and they showed why they're going to be red-hot favourites to win a premiership in a couple of weeks.
Spotswood will be licking their wounds, but they'll take on Werribee Districts this week. Good win to Werribee Districts. A plucky performance by Hoppers too in the finals. Yeah,
it was only the last quarter, I think, that Werribee Districts sort of blew this game away. Up to that stage, it was a good arm wrestle for 3 quarters of the game. Hoppers crossing, losing Al Hurley last week. No excuse. I'm not making excuses, but they seem to have all of a sudden found this chemistry that that worked in the first final. All of a sudden, the kids copped a couple of weeks suspension. I think that put them on the back foot a little bit because they had to find another one, and we're going down to plan D and E now, and it just I think they just ran out of that those sort of plans to kick goals, and that's been their Achilles heel for most of the year of 2014. Having a regular goal kick and a goal kick with Ryan Kitchen out of that lineup, probably about 3 quarters of the way through the year. So, but they've done a fantastic job, and I think Steve Credihook mentioned to us they got, I think, 15 kids under the age of 20, if I'm right, give or take a couple. So how bright's their future? Fantastic to be playing finals, 2 finals appearances in 2014 to Hoppers Crossing. Watch out 2015.
That's our wrap-up of the second week of finals. Can't wait to talk to you about the grand finals coming up on the weekend and the big preliminary final as well here on the WRFL website.